The quick side road I want to go down here is I'll show you an example of the tab complete. So something you have to do quite often in some of your games is you have to rename stuff or change where they're parented or delete objects. And what Coplay does in the background is it's always sort of listening to the actions you're taking and then making predictions on what's the most likely next action you should take given sort of the knowledge it has of game creation. And in this example, we can see this cactus or cacti here are all different cylinders. And I just want to rename it as an example to cactus 1, cactus 2, cactus 3. So this first one, I'll type in cactus 1. And now what Coplay sort of has done in the background is like predicted the next action, which is probably going to be to rename cactus 2. And as I hit tab, I can just complete all of these as long as the model predicts that there is a next action to take. And yeah, I'll just hit tab to complete all of those. Cool. So what if you have a large existing game and you have to do some maintenance or you have to do some live ops where, for example, you're adding more assets or more weapons to your game? And that's another place where Coplay shines as well. And that's what I'm going to be showing you here. So let me go into the next video. OK. So this game here is actually one of the games we worked on before. It's got about 1.5 million players. It's a VR game. It's a big game. So it's got like I think about 20,000 different assets, 40,000 different files. So a lot of things that you need to keep in context. And sorry, I haven't explained this yet. But for anyone who's not aware, when I say context, it's sort of all the text and the knowledge that the LLM sees before it takes action. So that's roughly what I mean by context. But yeah, so in this game, a lot of stuff to do. And what we needed to do here every 2 weeks or so was add new weapons that our team had prepared. But to add those weapons, you had to go through a lot of different sort of manual steps inside Unity to get it into the actual game. So what I'll do at the start here, so what I quickly did there is Coplay has this record mode, and you can just hit the record button that I showed there. And I'll go through the different steps here. So the first one is create a prefab variant. And yeah, sorry, just pausing there quickly, but I'll go through the manual steps that I've done here to do one of the weapons. The weapon I'm doing is the banjo. But then after that, I'll show you how you can automate it with Coplay. So we just created a prefab variant. And on the right-hand side in the top here, you can see that Coplay showed you, cool, I've recorded this action, creating a prefab with that path. And if we continue playing, the next thing we want to do is actually add a mesh to that prefab. So again, it recorded the action. The next thing we want to do is we want to add this like weapon view component to the prefab. And there we drag and drop a bunch of different handlers, very tedious and repetitive. Now, once we've done that, we actually have to set up this item in the config, name it, drag and drop the icon across when I find that. Cool, got it. And now we have to actually attach the prefabs to this config as well. So this is a scriptable object. And cool, I just paused or stopped the recording there, and I can name it whatever I want, weapon pipeline. And that's that. So I quickly add a bunch of the items that I'm pretty sure this model will need for context, just to be more specific. And now I can ask it, repeat the weapon pipeline for the fork and the katana, which are two new weapons that's not in the project yet. And let's run that. So cool, you can see first action here is already correct, which is create the prefab variant for the fork and the katana. So yeah, maybe taking one step back there, the model sort of sees the general flow of what this pipeline is that you did before, but now it knows that, it needs to look specifically for like the fork assets and the katana assets in your project and execute the same flow, but for new items. Cool, and it runs that. It needs to add the meshes next, which you can see it did here. Then it needs to basically follow all of the other steps that it did. Set the properties. So you can see there on the left, it started to add the component and setting the different properties of that component. And here I'll just run through the rest of them, which are mainly editing the config. Cool. I think it's almost done. Yeah, there we go. So I'll pause there. You can see at the bottom here, it's added the two new items, the fork and the katana. I'm not 100% sure where my banjo went, but, and then you can see here the fork with its components, with its material, and the same for the katana. And that's all done just by AI, hands-free. And that's the end of the video as well. Cool, so what's sort of the result we get from this? We save devs a lot of time. So specifically with the record and replay, we've seen on average that it gives our developers, or sorry, our users who have to release something every 2 weeks, it'll save them something like 5 hours every 2 weeks that they don't have to do manually anymore. But yeah, sort of summarizing thoughts here, Coplay makes it really easy to get started in Unity as a newcomer. We're already being used by some of the largest mobile game studios and VR game studios out there. On average, we reduce the time spent in Unity tasks from 30 minutes to 1 minute. And yeah, some nice feedback we've gotten is that it helps the developers prevent RSI with repetitive Unity tasks. So yeah, thanks so much. If you have any questions or would like to try it out, come grab us after or go get us at our booth. Yeah, thanks a bunch, and happy to answer any questions here.